I watched the first 3 minutes of the Matt Rife comedy special on Netflix and turned it off because, dude, you betrayed your audience.
Today's the day that ends in Y, so TikTok is up in arms about something dumb. This time, the wokesters on TikTok are all mad at the comedian Matt Rife. Yes, that hot comedian who keeps going viral, because in his new Netflix special, he kicks off the show with an edgy joke about violence against women. Take a listen to the joke in question, and then we'll unpack the backlash.
I've only been to Baltimore one time. I ate lunch there, and the hostess who seats you at the restaurant had a black eye. A full black eye. It wasn't what happened? Yeah, it was pretty obvious what happened. And we couldn't get over the fact that we were this is the face of the company? This is what you have greeting people? And my boy who I was with was yeah, I feel bad for her, man. I feel like they should put her in the kitchen or something where nobody has to see her face, And I was like, yeah, but I feel like if she could cook, she wouldn't have that black eye.
I didn't find this joke particularly funny or unique. That's a matter of opinion. One thing's for sure though, it did not go over well on TikTok. Here's what one male feminist had to say, very eager to signal his support for women and how bad Matt Rife was for daring to joke about such a subject.
I watched the first 3 minutes of the Matt Rife comedy special on Netflix and turned it off because, dude, bro, you betrayed your audience immediately. You told an unfunny joke about domestic violence against women and also included in there some misogyny about them in the kitchen, cooking and pleasing their man, pleasing their husband. And you betrayed them.
So I found this critique particularly dumb because, are you never supposed to joke about anything that hits home for your audience, potentially? Are you supposed to only pander to the people that are in your base? Does it really follow that he should never joke at something that might be sensitive for his audience? I think some of the best comedians, whether it's Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle, they actually go right for the things that might make their audience uncomfortable, because sometimes that's the most dangerous but fertile ground for comedy. Some people are also accusing Matt of pandering to men by making jokes at women's expense. But why should any group be exempt from having jokes made at their expense? Female comedians or even male comedians will make jokes about men for women all the time, and that's fine. I don't quite understand why looking to expand your audience or appeal to new demographics would be considered a bad thing, even if this particular joke may have been a failed attempt to do so. There was also kind of a woke progressive identity politics critique of this, that Matt Rife as a white man isn't allowed to speak on these subjects. Take a listen.
Matt Rife opened his comedy special with a domestic violence joke, right? And it made me realize that sometimes if you don't have oppression of your own to pull from, you try to make fun of the oppression of others, but unfortunately you don't have the angle of understanding to make it funny, right? Cue the laughter, because you were supposed to picture a woman getting hit because she can't cook, and you were supposed to laugh. Did you laugh? Is that what he means by he made this for men? You want to make fun of domestic violence with men. You want to talk about your grandfather saying he hooked up with Rosa Parks in the front of the bus. All of these jokes are dependent on other people's oppression and nuance and things that you don't really need to be touching. Talk about something funny from your own life. Do you have anything to pull from that is interesting and uniquely yours? And also funny, something fun, something with a punchline, something with a 1-2 make me laugh, rather than 1-2 make me cringe. I don't know.
This one, it's just so dumb, because whether you're somebody giving an opinion or making a joke, we all speak about things that don't directly affect us all the time. And if comedians could only speak to their exact experiences, that wouldn't be very interesting. And it's not actually enlightened to argue that what people are allowed to talk about is dictated by their demographic characteristics and the pigment of their skin. Here's another argument the TikTokers made about why Matt Rife is problematic now.
The only disappointment that I'm experiencing from this Matt Rife situation right now is the disappointment knowing that there are still women out there who were supporting him and thought that he was funny and are now shocked that his Netflix special came out and it's just hot misogynistic garbage. Ladies, you really let that nasty ass, fish lip, handsome Squidward face fool you? Cue that one clip of Matt Rife from more than a year ago on that one podcast. You know, the one where he's like horribly objectifying and talking about women's bodies and women with big clits, and how he would never sleep with a woman with a big clit because it's like she has a penis. That's so funny, Matt. And before anyone hops on here and says, it's comedy, anything goes. Yes, potentially anything goes. If it's funny. It's comedy, Matt, but I'm not really hearing any jokes.
Side note, so he's evil because he makes comments about women's bodies, but it's totally fine for you to make a ton of comments about his body and his appearance. That seems to be how this works. So the other argument she makes is that it's okay to joke about offensive things, but only if those jokes are funny. Now that kind of makes sense at the surface, but when you unpack it, it really isn't workable at all. For one thing, everybody disagrees about what's funny and what's not. It's fundamentally subjective. So you could never joke about anything offensive under that logic because there's always going to be somebody who doesn't find it funny. And the second problem is that you don't know what's going to be funny until you try it. So if joking about something offensive will get you canceled or labeled problematic if it ends up flopping, but you can't know if it will flop or be successful until you try it, then you can't really try anything edgy at all. And of course, this kind of controversy wouldn't be complete without people arguing that a joke isn't okay because the thing that they're joking about isn't funny.
You know, the real reason that a lot of women don't find jokes funny is because they've experienced it. And that shit's not funny.
I mean, of course, violence in the household isn't funny. I don't think anyone thinks it is. My heart breaks for anybody who's experienced that, and I'm sure Matt Rife does too. But you can't treat comedy as you would treat somebody's political opinion stated in general in a serious tone. Comedians joke about death all the time. They joke about disease, disaster, war, the worst things that can happen in all of human life. None of those things are funny. They don't endorse or support those things. If you try to assign an endorsement to people of anything they ever joke about, then nobody can joke about anything traumatic or serious whatsoever. And that's a real shame, because often many people will say that through comedy and through laughing about things is part of how they heal and how they grapple with really intense subjects. Now look, I don't think this particular joke was very good. In my opinion, it wasn't very funny to me. But I don't think any topic should be off bounds in comedy, and I don't want to live in a world where comedians are afraid to try risque new bits because TikTok might get angry. Alright guys, let me know what you think. I want your thoughts in the comments. Am I wrong? Is this joke offensive? Is he problematic to you now? Or are you with me and in the Matt Rife fan club, partly just because of that jawline? If you're new here, consider subscribing, sticking around, commenting, liking, yada yada yada. And I'll see you all in my next video. But if you want to see me take on more of TikTok's insane ideas and out-of-touch arguments, check out my other content here and here.